Welcome to another episode of Bullets and Brass. We're continuing our series on what's the best. In this case, we're contrasting 6.5 Creedmoor with 308, which, let's face it, they go head to head in a lot of senses. They're directly competing almost across the board for market share. 308, long-standing winner. 6.5, plucky newcomer, so to speak. Now, the biggest difference, obviously, is bullet size. Because the bullet weights, the 6.5 is a little lighter, but not massively so. But it's significantly narrower. Now, is that good? Is that bad? We're going to get into it. 6.5. Very fast. Better BC, ballistic coefficient. So the further out you go, the more velocity it retains. 308, bigger bullet, a little heavier bullet, a little more energy up close, and basically universal. You can get it anywhere, or at least you normally can. Available in a ton of rifles, kind of a standard, industry standard across the board, worldwide. So why would you pick one over the other? And why is 6.5 kicking 308's ass? Well, the answer is pretty simple. 308 is about 70 years old. I could be off on that a little bit, but basically it is World War II era or shortly thereafter technology. 6.5 is, yeah, brand new. It's about a decade old, a little more than that now, total. And it is what happens when engineers take modern powder, modern bullet theory, with a little hint of old school. 6.5 is not a new caliber in the sense that that bullet diameter has been around a long time and been understood to be an excellent long-range choice for hunting. And just apply a little modern flavor to it. Now, let's cover the downsides of 6.5 first, because they are few but significant. The biggest downside is it's 6.5. It is not starting with a 7, so it doesn't start with a 3 for caliber. It is not a 30 cal. In rifles, that's something people look at. People consider anything under 30 to be kind of on the small side for a lot of animals. It's all about retained momentum. It's about how much mass are you really driving through that animal for hunting. Now, modern bullet design, the longer bullets that 6.5 favors, kind of mitigate that a lot, but it's still there. The other downside that gets talked about a lot is, I think, overstated and misunderstood. 6.5 eats barrels, right? Well, not really. What 308 is a really gentle round on barrels. Everything else that these two kind of exist with in the market is closer to 6.5 than 308. We didn't make fun of or really give 300 Weatherby Magnum or Winchester Magnum a hard time about their barrel life, did we? 270, we didn't make fun of that's barrel life. 22 250, okay, yeah, we kind of do know that that's a barrel eater. But 243s, 245s, 257s, these all eat barrels, roughly the same as 6.5. But we're not putting them in rifles that we tend to shoot a lot, so we didn't care. They were hunting specific calibers that if you fired 500 rounds over the life of the gun, you were a heavy shooter. So 6.5 gets shot a lot. People put them in AR-10s, people put them in precision rifle shooting competition rifles where they're shooting thousands and thousands of rounds a year, and they're eating barrels. Now, is it excessive? That depends on you. Is 308 better about it? Absolutely. Do you still wear out 308 barrels? Absolutely. So, twice the life, or half, depending on how you want to look at it. But if you burn through that much ammo, in match grade ammo, you're talking about $1 a round for either of them. If you're burning through the thousands of rounds it takes, a few $100s on a barrel to be back in competitive form is probably not your biggest concern. You probably had bigger expenses going to one match than that barrel. So, overblown, not irrelevant, but at least not as big a deal. Now, what are the advantages? Well, once you get past a couple 100 yards, it's just flat out better. More energy, more speed, flatter ballistics, modern bullet design in most of the choices, which again, you can get them in 308, but there's a reason 6.5 is winning. 308 kind of has stagnated, and to be honest, you don't need that big a bullet. You're paying a penalty in terms of ballistics to get that larger bullet diameter when it's not necessarily required. 6.5 in modern bullets is giving you what you wanted out of the 30 caliber in the smaller, faster, better ballistically designed package. So clearly I'm a fan of 6.5, right? Well, there's the advantages of the 308. And sorry, said that weird. The 308, 7.62 by 51. What are the advantages? Cheaper plinking ammo, more rifles available in it still. Even at this point in the game, if you go to the store and you're shopping for a new rifle, there are still more options in 308 than there are in 6.5. That's starting to go away, but it still exists. Does hit harder. Up close, absolutely. You've got a heavier bullet going almost as fast. Absolutely hits harder. The pressures on these are roughly the same. The actual velocity is not that different. It's that this retains it better. And overall, the 308 is that industry standard for a reason. As an all-round cartridge, it's really hard to beat. Reloading data for the 308, much bigger. There are way more people who have dug very deep into 308. The number of bullets available, much bigger. 6.5 is catching up as the tactical market starts to get interested, as the hunting market takes off for 6.5 in the US. The 6.5 Creedmoor is getting more and more bullets. The European market used to be a 6.5 market, Scandinavia, but their hunting crowd is much smaller than the US, and it was mostly soft points, to be honest. You saw very little innovation in their hunting bullet market. Whereas 308, massive use in the US. Massive use for the police, for the military, for hunting, for target shooting. I mean, it was the round if you were not shooting 223. So, that's the general comparison. I wouldn't feel underarmed with 308, regardless of what I'm doing. If I'm not hunting something that is too big for 308, 308 is always a good round. Self-defense, police purposes, military purposes, hunting most things in North America, absolutely great. 6.5, probably. There is some hunting that I would feel questionable about with a 6.5 because I don't think it has the momentum that I would want for some larger game. Can it do it? Absolutely. No question. If you make that shot, great. But there are shots that I think that the 308 would have been better for. And to each their own. But certainly, if you're looking for a flatter, long-range ballistic arc with good downrange performance, the 6.5 wins. That's what it's designed to do. They fit in the same magazines. They fit in effectively the same rifles. If you can put a 308 in it, you can build it to do a 6.5 and vice versa. In both cases, an AR-10, the big brother of the AR-15, if you're not familiar, was originally designed for 308. These days, I would bet that a significant portion, rapidly gaining on the 308 crowd, are in 6.5 Creedmoor. A little less recoil, a little better ballistics, and it's just the hot round of the times. Can't deny it. So I certainly switched. I mean, this guy right here is 6.5. I sold my 308. I sold one of my 223s. I decided that it was not, I didn't need a 308 in my life. The 6.5 could do all of it with fewer downsides for me. So, for me, 6.5 was the winner. For you, what is it? Is 6.5 winning? Is 308 winning? Do you have a huge stash of 308 and you're looking at it and going, well, damn, I want to switch, but I got all this 308? I mean, I've certainly got hundreds of rounds of 308 that I don't know what I'm going to do with. To the point of do I buy another rifle? That is it. Take care. Have fun. Happy Halloween, since this is probably getting released on Halloween. Ciao, folks. Say hi. Oof.